because I don't know if
Yeah.
I can see the comments. Oh, we are live. Okay. Let me
Oh,
check my Facebook, make sure it's on there. Because I haven't quite figured out how to like share it.
yeah. Stream this to your audience. There's so much. I'm so
I'm
not
very
savvy with this.
neither am I. And like every
I'm like,
time like
we'll
I ask
figure it out.
somebody, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, there's like a oh, we are live. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So
Like,
I'm gonna click on it and this way we can watch it. Okay. Okay,
right.
awesome. Welcome
What is the
everybody to Creative
comment?
Connections Open Mic. I'm your host, Psychic Medium Kristen Tinsley, and today we have a very, very special guest all the way from Las Vegas. Her name is Kat Fimple, and she is the owner of Sin City Kitty, and she makes bull whips. Only bull whips.
Only bullets.
Only bull whips. And I'm going to tell the funny story of how I actually came to find Kat. I fell down the rabbit hole a little bit because I started watching Jax the Whipper, which everybody knows who he is because they see him all over YouTube. I
Oh
went
yeah.
to go see him, the Renaissance Fair. I went to go see. I'm like, I have to meet this guy. I have to see him. I have to all this stuff. And I just I'm a medium, so I get things in my head. All right, and Spirit showed me this black and purple whip, and I was like, that's the one I want. And I had no idea about anything about whip cracking, nothing. I saw a couple videos on it. I saw these people doing it. I was like, wow, that's something I really want to try. And I saw this black and purple whip. And then when I saw Nick demonstrate your whips, I looked you up on Etsy and I said, oh, that's the whip. And then I just kept, because I thought I wanted a whip like Jax had,
Right. Right.
And then you were like, well, I only make bull whips. And I'm like, what the hell is that?
Aren't they all the same? It's like,
They're not
wow,
all the
yeah.
same. It's like, what do you mean? Like, it's not the same. So
There's a
I
whole world,
kept going
yeah.
back and forth and back and forth. And I was like, oh, stock whip. And like, you were like really nice. And then Spirit was like, no, it has to be a bull whip and it has to be made by her. She has to make it. So I was like, all right. So, and that's how I came to find you. And so there must be something there. I haven't quite figured out why.
I'm glad you did though. That's like such
Yeah,
an amazing story, right?
it is. I mean, it's crazy. So I want to hear your story because that's what we're here. We're talking about
Oh,
um the actual art of whip making because it is an art.
mm-hmm. It
And
is, yeah.
the negative part of it, because I've heard a lot of people, you see people, when you see like Adam Widwich out there, cracking his
Mm-hmm.
whips, and people like, oh yeah, that's what they did back with slavery, and like so there's
Yeah.
that. And then a lot of
Right.
people think it's BDSM. Please,
Right, right, exactly. These
it
are your
is not
two
that.
options.
Like, would you ever hit
Yes.
somebody naked with a bullwhip?
No. That's not my thing. If that's your thing, hey,
Right.
more to you. I can't like, right? Yeah,
Like, what's
exactly. It's like,
the
and there's this little space in between called sports whipping, right? So that's where Adam Winrich and all them fall into, right? So this competitive sports cracking, super popular in Australia. They actually have
yeah,
competitions for that too, as well as whip making. So that's
yeah,
like a lot of the heritage there. So,
yeah,
but I got started, okay, so we're going back to 2020, right? So during quarantine, when everybody was sent home and everything, I had some free time on my hands.
yeah.
My husband and I were like, and the kids, we've never gone out as much as we did during that summer. Isn't that funny? They tell you to stay in, and it's like, no, I can't. I
I
really can't.
can't. I gotta go out.
So,
Yeah.
right.
Now I
So
want to go out.
we got to go out, right?
Mhm.
And so, we gotten to the point where we're done baking things and stuff, and now we're cleaning out the house. And I had this bullwhip. Let's see, I grew up with the Indiana Jones series and Catwoman in Batman Returns, like my
Yep.
absolute favorite. It was like, oh my gosh, I need to have one of these. So years ago, I had purchased a bullwhip like off of eBay, and it just sat there. I couldn't crack it. It was way too long for me, and
Yeah.
so during quarantine, I pulled it out, and it was either I'm going to use it or I'm going to get rid of it.
Right.
So I still couldn't really use it and stuff. I actually have a video somewhere of me like cracking it. It's like cracking behind me. It's the weirdest thing. It's not even, and now that I've made whips myself, it's kind of like janky looking. It's like not even like a really good whip to start with.
Yeah.
So I started practicing with I bought some like cheap whips off of Etsy as well. And
Yeah.
so I started learning how to like, just kind of crack with like a little 4-foot whip and stuff. And at one point, like it completely came apart. And so that's when I started to kind of like fiddle around with like, oh, let's see what whip making entails and like how do you put
How do
this
you
back
do it?
together? How do
Yeah.
I repair this whip, right?
Yeah.
And so that's where I found Nick Schrader on Nick's Wick Shop. He actually did a video with Adam Winrich. They're making this. It's like this teal single belly bullwhip and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. I don't think I could do that, but it's kind of cool to see like how it's done.
Yeah.
And like a few months later, I was like, you know what, I'm actually gonna try it. And so I did, and I made a few like there, in the beginning you're like it's really not good and stuff, but you kind of like learn and I got involved with like the community like through Facebook, Instagram. There's like a whole community of like whip crackers and whip
The
makers
makers,
out
yeah.
there. Yeah, and I started to get involved with that, and I would ask questions and everything. There's like little forums and stuff. But
there's 30th. This is why I told you
yeah.
this. June 30th, Indiana Jones is going to be back in theaters. And I'm telling you, business, people are going to want to start cracking whips, because now that they've seen Jax and you and everybody out there doing all of this stuff, people are actually realizing, because even at the Renaissance Fair, they were giving whip cracking lessons. So my ass was over there, because when I first took of course I fell down and I brought, the whip that that you made for me. It takes time. It's not something you just order and you just mail it to somebody. No, it's specifically made the way that the colors I wanted, the design I wanted was made for me. So I bought just to practice with. I bought this 8-foot bullwhip off of, and I cannot crack it at all. It is so big, and I'm like, oh my god, how am I ever going to do this?
Yeah.
But the first time I took your whip out, I whipped the shit out of myself. Bad. It was all over here, but after a while, I'm like, all right, well, it doesn't hurt that bad, so I'm just gonna keep going. Yeah. But I was whipping myself, and then I went up to the guy that was giving the whip cracking lessons, and I said, listen, I said, I'm hitting myself with the whip, and he goes, oh, you just kind of have to turn your whip, your wrist out a little bit. You're holding it the wrong way. But the more you watch it, because there isn't anybody to teach you this. There's no whip cracking classes, but I have a feeling that there's going to be. There's going to be where people are going to want to learn this, because I do it for meditation.
Yeah.
It's relaxing. It's meditation. I love the sound.
Yeah.
And it's an upper body workout like you've never had before. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I feel like this could be the next thing where people I'm going to take a whip cracking class so I could work out. That would be great, and I really feel like I just know. I even wrote, I started writing this thing. It's called Whip Side Story. It's West Side Story, but it's with whips. And I'm like, I listen to it, certain songs. I'm like, this would be a good song to do some sort of dance with it and crack the whip at certain points of the song.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, so it's definitely fun, and you could do your own type of thing with it. But who was the one that taught you how to crack, or you just watched other people?
I watched online a lot of, I went to Justin Baretsky of Canada Whips has a wonderful, a YouTube channel, just tutorials. And he's the one that actually started the Whip 101 group, and Isaac Eliason. And they put that together and stuff, and as a way for us to grow as a community and grow our strength and our skill set. So so I learned from there. It was purely online. No one was here. There's no one here in Vegas, so I wanted to try and put together a little group ourselves and stuff. I know there's one in LA, and I think there's a couple that are not quite on your side of town, but back east.
Yeah, so, there's nothing. No, they're not out here. I mean, I was laughing the other day. I'm like, oh, I'm a crackhead. To try to make people understand I'm a crackhead. It's a thing. Yeah. Oh, you're a crackhead. Yeah. No, I like to crack whips, and people automatically jump to BDSM, and I'm like, no, you don't want to get hit with this. Trust me. You don't.
Exactly. Yeah. Especially online. You get a lot of comments. A lot of people will reach out and please hit me. And
please hit me.
No, we're trying to discourage that. And that's not what we're about, Yeah.
I don't want to blow your eardrums out at the same time. Because some of those whips are loud. When I got to the Renaissance, I'm crossing the street and I could hear Jax. From a mile away, and I'm like, oh, it really, and in person, it is very loud. And I was like, oh, wow, this is And the
Yes,
fire whips. Have you ever played with a fire whip?
I've yet to play with one. That's the next thing on
That's
my
the next
list. I
thing.
really, really want one. Yeah.
Me too. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
like,
Nothing
oh,
like
God,
creating your own
like,
fireball, and
right,
it's like
just like jump
very,
to it. Because I took a fire
yeah.
dance class and there was she had fire poi there.
Oh
So I
yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
and I had no problem doing that. I loved it. There's just something about it that is so alluring
Yeah.
and attractive. And even just
Right?
being able to
Exactly.
pick out what you want, your own colors. Because I'm attracted to color. Like I loved like
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, I already know the next whips that I want. I already have it. Like already like designed in my brain. I'm like writing it down. Like people
Oh, I
ask me,
love
what do you
it.
want for birthday? What do you want for Christmas? Here you go.
Yeah,
Like
that's
here's
it. When
this.
I first started, that's exactly it. My husband's
Yeah.
like, "What do you want for your birthday?" And everything. It's like, "I want this whip and that whip," and it's like you kind of go
Yeah.
crazy
You
at
have
the
a whole
beginning.
collection.
Like
How
you
many
get
whips do you
excited.
have?
Yeah.
How many whips
Oh
do you
my
have?
gosh, I
You have a lot, right?
there's a lot. I brought a few up with me here to like show
Show them
off,
out.
but so let me see. Oh yeah, speaking of like loud in person, I went to in January we have the LA Whip Con. And so everyone gets to bring, they bring their whips and
Oh, I
they
want to go.
perform and there's competition. So yes, next year we're lacking like women competitors. We need more ladies in there.
Oh
So
man,
please
so
feel
now I
free.
gotta get ready for this
Yeah,
and
we
embarrass
gotta get,
myself. But I'm up
yeah,
for it. Give me a date and I'll be practicing for it. I'll trust me, I'll
absolutely,
be there.
right?
I'll be there. Yep,
Yes.
I will be there.
Oh, yeah. So
I
let's
will
see,
be
what have
there.
we in my bag here? So the black and purple whip that you saw, this is
Oh
the
yeah.
one. See, this was my first all of my Sin City Kitty ombre whips where it fades from one color to the other.
Yes.
This was the one that it was based off of. This was my first one. This is the one that I model it after. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes.
That one's
So,
beautiful.
yep. It's the one that I take everywhere. So, in the videos where you see me like at the beach or like in the park on the concrete, this is the one. And I've totally messed up the fall and stuff. So I have to do like a repair on that. But it's like it's lasted me a couple of years. So I'm
Yeah,
really
it's
proud
been
of
yeah.
that. Like, see,
Yeah.
quality, right?
Quality, exactly. Because I picked up some whips and I'm like, yeah, okay, this is not good. Like
Oh.
I've seen some of them, like, and I'm like, yeah, that's not
Oh my
definitely
goodness.
not.
And then a few of my favorites. Let's see. These two I acquired recently. Torrance Fisher of Sword Guy Builds.
I
He
think
makes
I met
beautiful.
him.
Did you?
I think he was the guy that was at the
Tori.
Renaissance fair. I think he was the one.
Let's see.
I want to
What
check
the
and see.
ones
Oh
that
my God, look at that!
isn't it crazy? And there's a lady Barb Carrera. She burns these. She's her handle is Babs Burns, and see she like burns this handle, and then Tori will go ahead and like he's collaborated with her several times and creates these really beautiful whips
Wow,
and like just like this is like he does
that's
leather
hot.
and
I like that.
nylon, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he gets
that's
very
that. That's that.
creative. Yeah, exactly. And then I've got a Johnny Olgren from Sweden. I asked him to create because I love black whips, right? I
Black
love
whips are
colorful
very
ones, but
nice.
black whips are my favorite, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I want something inspired by Christian Louboutin, right? And
Yes,
so he created for me my black whip, but it's got our
it's got their
Louboutin peak,
signature red.
little
Yeah.
red bottom right there, right?
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Yeah, so beautiful, right? I don't take this one out as much as I should. It's kangaroo leather, but I don't want to take it like
No, you don't
like I
want to ruin
baby it,
it. Yeah,
right? I don't
you have that. Yeah, you
want
don't want to ruin
to ruin
something
it,
that you
right?
really love because it's
Exactly.
sad, but it's kind of like my first whip. Like if I had children, like I could just see like my daughter be
Yes.
like, "Can I get a whip for Christmas?" Like
Yes.
it's
That's
just
my daughter right now. Yeah. She's like,
yep.
"Can I get
See, and I think
one?"
it's good to have that.
Exactly.
It's different and
Right?
something that not everybody is doing.
Exactly. It is. It really is different. So let
Yeah.
me see. I've got Blake Bruning of Trinity Whips. So he created me this one. He calls it the Catwoman whip with a K.
How long is that handle? I think I need a handle that long.
This one, I believe is a 10-inch. It does
10
look long. Hold
inch?
on. 10-inch. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I lied. It's a 12-inch. This is a 10-inch
Yeah,
right
12
here.
inch. Yeah.
This is a 12-inch.
Yeah, I don't see, and that's another thing. You don't really get to like feel like what the handles will feel like in your hand.
Exactly, until
So
you
you
go and
don't
you pick up.
know.
So going to a whip meet is like an amazing opportunity to try out like other people's whips, and if like you're a maker,
Yeah.
it's like a great way to be like, oh, how did you do that, and like why
Mhm.
did you do that, and and feeling
Right.
like the different, and because they're all different,
Right.
right?
And there's not one way to make them. I mean, there's a way to do it,
Right.
and then there's,
Exactly.
I mean, of course there's a way, but I mean, I just like fascinated by
There's a few
all of it.
different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever made a rhinestone whip?
I have actually. I made because we have the burlesque community out here, so I started getting into that,
I'm moving
and
to Vegas.
I don't have any here, but I did sell a few that had a rhinestone on the heel knot, and I'm developing a new line for this summer. It's gonna be like just for the performers, so I'm gonna have like rhinestones on it, and
Yeah, I thought of
yeah,
that. I was
just
like,
gonna start that.
can I do
Right?
that? Well, because when I thought of Whipside Story, Maria, a red
Oh yeah.
rhinestone whip for
Yes,
her.
of
You know what I
course.
mean? Like just put
Yeah.
it like where it really sparkles and shine. Like I am
Yeah.
so like ready to like perform like all the stuff. Like to me, it's like for
Yeah.
performers for all of the stuff. I
Mhm.
think it's gonna be great. And those
Yeah.
those types of things. Like I want a Beetlejuice whip where it's
I
like
love that idea. I
the
know. Yeah. Did
black,
you hear the
white,
sequel's
black.
coming out?
Yeah,
Yeah. We're gonna have the
the
green on
snake.
the end, and I see black and white.
Yep,
Yeah,
all
exactly. It's gonna be
black, white, and
awesome.
then with like probably like a hot green cracker and like a purple
Yeah.
handle, like just very
Yeah.
thing. And that's the cool thing about you
Yeah.
because if somebody wants a custom whip, nobody else has it. It's not
Yeah.
like you're gonna walk
Exactly.
into it and everybody just has a generic type of thing. They could be made in different
Right.
ways. What is the
Exactly.
overhead cost of buying the supplies for whips? Is that very expensive?
It's not very expensive. Like nylon doesn't cost a lot depending on your supplier and stuff. I get my stuff from the paracord store, so usually like about 100 fee runs like what $7-8 and stuff.
That's
So
not bad. Well, don't say anything. Don't say it too
yeah.
loud because then they'll be like, "Oh, it's too cheap. We'll jack the prices up." I mean, leather is
Right.
different. A leather whip is definitely is different. Would cost
Leather
more.
whip will be different. Yeah, the cost
Mhm.
is going to be much higher. So that's more of like an investment piece.
Yeah,
But yeah, that I find that I don't take my leather whips out as much just for that
just
reason.
for that reason, right? Now, I know there's
Yeah.
do's and don'ts with whips. I know
Hmm.
you do not crack them on concrete, although I can't
Yeah.
see how you wouldn't do that. Um,
Yeah.
I've only ever cracked mine on the grass. I
Hmm.
want to keep it simple. I saw you do it in your
Yeah.
videos where you were on the sand.
Oh yeah. I
Is
take
that a
that.
safe
It's just
place
that
to
one
do
whip
that?
that I take everywhere.
Yeah. Is that
Yeah.
that's a definitely, and I saw you were doing tricks that you would do
Hmm.
with like stock whips with your bull whips.
Yeah. Hmm.
Do you feel like when people do like tricks and stuff, do they even use bull whips or do they just get stuck on the? Hybrids or the stock?
No, I think it depends on the performer. Like me personally, I tried some performance hybrid whips, and they're nice. It's not my thing. I don't know. I'm kind of like more of, I don't know. I like the whips, so
Like bull whips are
it's
better.
more
Yeah,
like
I
my
feel like
thing.
yeah,
So I guess it just depends
definitely.
on them. Yeah. Hmm.
Now,
But
what do you
maybe
do
that could change
besides?
as I get stronger. But what was
Yeah,
that?
what? Okay, let me ask this one question. What's the longest whip you've ever cracked? The
Oh gosh.
longest one.
There was a 20-foot whip at the WhipCon that I was able to crack. I was surprised myself because yeah, that's I
Yeah,
don't really go for the long whips, and
because that's
that's the
huge.
thing about you can go. It's huge. It's really big, and I wish I had gotten it on tape, but it's like
Yeah.
just let me just try it and see, and then I was able
That
to
would
do
be
it.
something
So
you'd really have to pick up. Like you have to have some upper body strength to pick
yeah.
these things up and
Oh
even
yeah.
over your head and all
It's
that
a
stuff.
workout.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. And I don't think
Hmm.
people realize how much of a workout it really is. And yeah, it
Yeah.
does hurt when you hit yourself, but it does,
Hmm.
you do have a mental awareness of
Hmm.
where the whip is and how you have to do
Yeah.
this. And, it really is, it's a workout. I mean, because
It is. Yeah.
my
And
arm was like, now I got to switch arms. But I find that I'm better with
yeah.
cracking the whip with my left hand than I am with my right hand, which is weird because I'm right-handed.
Uh-huh.
So
Oh, that's
it just
funny,
feels
but
more comfortable in my left hand. That's how I know they wanted this. Because the left hand is the spirit hand. So it's, that's
right?
how I know they wanted it. But
That's
I just,
funny.
I mean, it's just.
Yeah.
And does your husband, does he
Yeah.
help you make the whips,
No,
or he doesn't do
he pretty much he stays out of my way. He's very supportive,
it?
so he'll tend to the kids and like
Perfect.
do what he'll give me my time. He's like, yeah, I understand. So, but I'm usually doing like I don't really sit down very often and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm always doing something while I'm doing something else. So if we're watching like a movie or something like that, I'm usually like plaiting and stuff. So my whip workstation is mobile, so I could take it anywhere with me. I bring it upstairs, downstairs, like go outside. I'm like always doing. There was one I actually took with me on vacation, and I
Mm.
was like in the car. I was like holding it with my feet, and I was like braiding down. So
Wow.
anywhere you want to do it, you can get it. But yeah, so
Definitely need to make a video of yourself making. I learned so far. I learned how to wax whip by watching Dakota, and
uh-huh.
she, because I, when I dive into something, I dive 100% in. Like there is no stone
Oh
unturned.
yeah.
I need to know everything. So I went out and I bought this roaster, okay, for like $35,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't realize how big it was. It's
Yeah.
huge, and I got all
Yeah.
this wax,
They're big.
big, huge ones,
Uh-huh.
and I got all this wax. And
Yep.
the first, I tried to like this. I bought like this little tiny thing so I could take it with me. I cannot crack
Yeah.
this thing. I don't think it cracks. It's weird. I just
Oh
waxed it,
no.
and it came out good.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so now I
Yeah.
have it so that whenever I order a whip, like I'll be able to wax it. So I learned how to do that, and then I learned to attach the cracker back on
Mm-hmm.
by watching Nick.
There you
So
go.
I've learned that so
Yep.
far, but I don't think I'll ever step into actually
Yeah.
making my own whips. I don't know, like because I'm not good at
Never
like.
say never. I said
You're
never.
right. I'd have to
You
really
never
sit
know.
there and watch and learn how it's done, because
Mm-hmm.
I would get nervous
Yeah.
about like if I messed up the design of it. Like what happens if you
Yeah.
mess up while you're making a whip?
You you undo it and you do it until it's right.
What's the craziest design that anyone's ever asked you for?
Oh my gosh. I don't let anyone ask me for crazy designs. That's crazy.
Yeah, because you really can't. I mean, there's certain designs like you really can't do like.
There Yeah, so I'm still new to it, and so there's a lot of, like, patterns and things that I still want to explore myself. I developed the ombre so far, and so a lot of people have been asking about that one, but in terms of, like, pattern works and stuff, like, you can plat, like, names in there. There's a few, like, whip makers who have made, like, these, like, incredible like, Peter Thorndike made this one, it's, like, the Man of Snowy River, and it's,
Yeah,
like, this really ridiculous, like, plat count. It's almost like it's woven like a tapestry, like, onto a whip handle, and there's just so much. Like we're just barely scratching the surface
you
here.
just
Like
barely
I am
scratch.
still
Yeah,
yeah, there's so many different things that
but you
like I
came
have
up with
yet to
your
try.
own. The Cheshire Cat style was the
Yeah.
first whip that I saw. I loved it. The blue with the pink. That was beautiful.
Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah.
And
Thank
when I
you.
saw that, I was like, wow, I'm like that's beautiful. Like that's just something like I had never seen anything like that. And then you also
Yeah.
name your whips also.
I do. I like them. Each one of them has like its own little personality and stuff. So I kind of like it. Like it's got its own spirit and everything. So
Yeah.
like I have to name it, right?
Of course. Why wouldn't you? Like, because I was like, all
Yes.
right. I'm like, she named it Pink Venom. I'm like, I'm keeping it that. I am not
Yeah,
changing it.
right?
I am keeping
It sounds
it.
so badass,
Because
right?
I was gonna like call like something like Whitney Houston or something. Because
Oh,
I'm so like on
right.
the nose. But I think
I
Pink
like
Venom
it.
sounds much Whitney
Oh,
Houston.
Whitney
I don't
Houston.
know. I don't know where this
Oh
journey
my
is
god.
taking me. I really don't know. I never know until I get there.
Yeah,
So it's like, oh my god.
exactly. But it's a fun journey though. It's something that there's not a lot of people are doing it. So,
But
pioneering.
I'm telling you, they will. Once Indiana Jones is
Hmm.
out, and
Oh
when
yeah.
you start, I mean, the burlesque with the whips with that
Hmm. Yeah.
is gonna. I'm telling you, it's gonna be something, and it's good.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be making these whips for these performances. I'm telling you, everyone is gonna
Yeah.
want everyone is gonna want a little mini micro
Something.
rhinestone whip. I'm telling. Start
Right?
making them. I'm telling
Yes.
you, everyone is going to want that. So they can just kind of
Yeah.
walk around cracking their whip all the time. Like
Yeah.
I'm telling you, start making them now, because once
Oh,
they
right.
see that, it's going to be, because everything is sparkles, everything's rhinestones. That's
Hmm.
me. And I love
It's so
everything like
Vegas
that.
too, right? Everything
Exactly.
is it's
Just
so yeah.
little tiny whip. I don't know how you would even crack like a small whip like that. I don't get it because it
It's
doesn't touch the
possible. Like
ground.
Nick's made some tiny, like and Paul Nolan too. Like they've made these really like they're mini. They're like
Yeah.
they're proportionate to like their size, but they're like tiny little bullets that you can like actually crack.
I've
like the
seen
little
him do it, and I'm
keychains.
like, how is he
There's
doing
hat
that?
whips and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's like so many different things that I'm still like, I'm only a couple years into it, and it's like, wow, I didn't even know that existed.
that existed. But you could take
Right?
if you have leftover and make little tiny ones.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, just like a little tiny little rhinestone whip that you could
Mm-hmm.
just go like this all day long.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Like
I mean,
it's
as
the
far as
new
I know,
what is
it's
it?
not a
The
weapon.
fidget spinner, right? Instead of a fidget, just a
Yeah,
little mini bull whip, right?
exactly. It's not a weapon. I don't think that you would, I
No,
don't think
yeah,
it's an outlaw.
exactly.
But I mean, hey, it could be
Right?
self-defense for a woman because
I mean something, right? Yeah. That's why we have
something.
purse whips and snake
A purse
whips.
whip. I have a purse whip, and if you come anywhere
Yes,
near me, I'm gonna crack you in the face before
exactly.
you even
Right?
know
And
it.
they're not expecting that. They're like, whoa, wait, what's happening here?
Right? Where did that come from?
Right? It's like, oh no, don't mess with this one. She crazy.
I can see. I mean, I see all these things. Like it's just
Yeah.
insane. I can see all of it. What
Yeah.
else do you do? Like, what do you do for your main job? What else? What's like, your career?
I'm actually I work at the Win. I'm actually a executive secretary. So
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
very professional, very not whip cracking or really
Not with
anything like that really. It's not creative at all.
But
So
this
this is
is
kind
your
of like my
creative
creative
side,
outlet.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's
exactly.
amazing
So
how a lot of people found
yeah.
that creative outlet,
Yeah, right.
during COVID. I did, I mean,
Yeah.
I've always been a medium,
Yeah.
but I had my deck of cards in my house, and I've just kind of like moved them around, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And just time after time, and just kept picking them up and this and that. And then one night I was sitting there and I was looking at it, and I'm like, you haven't picked up those cards. You haven't even opened the box.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden just started learning about tarot, watching videos about it, learning
Yeah.
about it, all this stuff. And it just blew like everything wide open for me again. And now I have quite a museum on this
Mhm.
over here, quite a museum of different tarot card decks, and each one means something different to me. They all have different, it is a creativity. People create their own
Yeah.
decks. You create your own whips. I mean, all the stuff is
Yeah.
just very fascinating,
Yeah, right.
for me. And it's something, did you ever think about writing a book about it?
Oh God.
He's like, no. Type it
I
up.
don't have enough for a book. I don't know. Maybe ask me in like 20 years.
20 years, yeah, because I feel like there's definitely something more to this. Like there's more.
Oh, there's like books out right now, and it's like from whip makers that they're like classic and just like iconic in the whip world. We have like David Morgan. He created the Indiana Jones full whip. I've got actually have his book right here. Shameless
See,
plug, right? And then we have Ron Edwards, who is very talented, right? He's one of the
wow.
old Australian ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
It teaches you everything you need to know. And then one of my newer ones, Johnny Ogre. So, but these guys have been around and doing this for some time, and I don't feel like I
And
would
they're passing it.
qualify for like it's like they're passing it along. I'm happy to read and see, and then maybe one day I can add to it. And
Yeah. That's what it's
right?
about. They're passing this on so that it doesn't. I mean, I
Yeah,
just kind of wondered, like, where did this get started? Like, as a sport, like, where did this get started? With,
yeah,
take put aside all the negative history of it, but
yeah.
where did it get started? Like, how did somebody actually be like, all right, I'm going to do this as a sport, and I'm
Hmm.
going to go and I'm going to perform? Like, how did that? Do you know? Like, how did that happen? Like, just I don't.
Well, goodness, I feel like Adam Winrich has a lot to do with making it really popular as like a sport, and I know his influence came from Indiana Jones, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So we just love Indy, and yeah, just and he just started performing, I think, and yeah, I know they have big competitions in Australia, but yeah, the movies, hey,
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, like when I was in CVS and I saw the Indiana Jones toy for
yeah,
like a whip, and I
yeah,
was like, and I didn't even know
what
that
is
they were
this?
re-releasing it. I'm like, what is this? I didn't
Yeah,
even know that it was going to
uh-huh.
be in theaters. And this morning, I'm driving and I
Yeah,
look over the movie theater and I'm like, June 30th, Indiana Jones. I said, what is going on? I said, I
yeah,
knew it. So of course I'm gonna go
yeah,
see it, because when I watched, like I
absolutely.
tried to watch the old one and I'm like, I can't watch this crap. Like I need to watch
Ah,
like the new version. It's so old, but I'm like, this is such a cheesy
oh,
storyline, and I think he uses the whip like
oh.
maybe like once or twice. It wasn't even like,
But it's enough for it to be like iconic, and we love
yeah.
it.
I feel think Catwoman is more iconic than Indiana Jones.
She's
Because
my
she had a
favorite, so.
massive whip though. I think her whip must have been at least 12 feet
Mhm.
long. That was a big long
Well,
whip.
yeah, that was, I believe, someone's gonna get me on this one. I believe they had a working whip that was 10 feet,
Right, yeah.
and then on like when it was like coiled up, and then later, like when they were actually filming it, I think she was using a 9 foot.
And did she have to learn how to use
Daniel
that?
Gordon.
Yeah, did she have to learn how to
She
use
did,
that?
yes, yeah. She did actually, yeah. Anthony DeLongis, he taught her how to use it. He's actually in the whip community. He's active in there and stuff. So
Oh,
like,
cool. Okay.
if you look him up in there, yeah,
Mhm.
he's happy to talk to you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Because I
he
was
has a
like,
ranch
you wonder
over.
that.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
because
and
I'm
he's still
like,
active too in the industry and stuff. And he comes out to Vegas every year for Combat Con. So he
oh,
actually
cool.
teaches, him and his wife, Dr. Mary. They come out and then they teach you how to use the whip. So just like Catwoman.
Oh my God. I have to come
I
to
know,
Vegas.
it's wild, right?
Yeah,
You
I'm like,
gotta come to
you don't
Vegas.
ever think of that. And somebody
Oh yeah.
like there's actually people that have to train to use that. So
Mhm.
you don't, because you're
Yeah.
using that. Remember she was like skipping through the department store and she was whipping
Yes.
off the
Yep.
that has a
Yeah,
totally
that's like
different
one of
meaning to
the.
me now.
Yeah,
Totally different meaning.
exactly.
She's like whipping off the heads of the mannequins.
Yes, right?
So
Love
funny.
it. It's one of
And
my favorites.
you're
So
so
yeah, the
like
targeting
focused
thing.
on her. Like you didn't even think about the whip. Like, like you don't
Yeah.
even who
Yeah,
else
it was
had a
just a
whip?
part of her. That is,
It was just a part of her.
yeah, that's
You're
what she
right. And
does. Yeah.
yep. And Wonder
Right.
Woman had a whip also.
She has a
People forget
lasso.
a lasso, yes. But didn't
Yeah.
she have a whip also?
No, her lasso was it would whip around similar to a whip and stuff, but
Yeah.
it had a mind of its own, I think. So, but
Yeah, it was
yeah.
something magical. But there hasn't been a lot of
Mhm.
people that had those, and
Yeah,
then you go
exactly.
into the different styles of cracks and
Mhm.
you learn the names of it and it's like, all right, this is it's not to like the cattleman's crack, the
Mhm.
backwards one. What was it? Is there a backwards cattleman's crack? No.
There is. There is, yeah.
The
There's
backwards
actually
one,
one called,
and
there's
there's
a
a
reverse
coachman.
and there's a backwards.
Yes. And then there's
Oh,
the coachman's crack. There's all
yeah.
different kinds of cracks, and like once you
There
see
are.
them and you have to see it like so many times before you actually get
Oh
it.
yeah.
But like it's like you're
Exactly.
trying to train, you're trying to watch it on the thing, and it's like, all right, let me just
Yeah.
not take my eye out. But I think Nick was
Yeah.
probably one of the best because Adam can't help himself. Every time I watch a tutorial video of him, he starts out very slow and he explains it to you, and then all of a sudden he's just doing it and just going crazy. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's your thing. So, but I
Right?
can't wait.
It's
Like, I
yeah.
want to go to the competitions. I'll be nervous as hell, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I think, you
go.
know what? Everybody gets nervous, even the really good ones. I
Yeah,
noticed, even they were like nervous. So it's
yeah.
like, I
To
think
get out
everybody's
there.
like that. But you go, and it's a really great community though. Everyone there is super supportive. There was like a couple during the competition, a couple people like were getting like tangled and stuff, and like people were like cheering them on, like, you got this, come on.
Yeah,
So
it's a
it's
good
just a
thing. Yeah.
really good, yeah, it's a friendly
I
place.
mean, I'm a
So it's
stand-up
all good.
comic. I get on stage to make people laugh.
Oh,
I
yeah.
communicate with the dead. Like, what am I worried about?
Right. Exactly. You got nothing to be scared of. You just
Nothing.
go, right?
Just get out there and do it. But I would feel like, like, oh my God, because I watch like children do it. Like I said,
Yeah.
go through all the
Oh
YouTube
yeah.
videos, and I see all these little kids, and I'm like, oh my God, like,
Right. It's
wow, and
adorable.
girls
They're so
too.
good. Like, oh my
Exactly.
gosh.
Like, how are you guys that good? Because they practice.
Yeah. They practice. They
God.
enjoy it. Yeah.
How often do you practice?
Well, I used to practice a lot more. Like it used to be a daily thing. Now because we're kind of back to like normal and stuff.
No life.
I try to get out like at least once a week, sometime during the week when I'm not like making a whip or something. Or now that school's out, I can get out and practice a little more and stuff. The kids are outside. I can be outside too and stuff. So going to the
Yeah.
parks and whatever. And then especially because we have the 101 group. So we have our monthly challenge. So it kind of like incentivizes you to like keep
Go
up
back
and,
to yeah.
post your video. We're doing this routine.
I need to get there. I need to get there.
You
Like,
should, yeah.
I had my
It's a lot of
video
fun.
and I should have posted it in there. And I was like, oh, let me, because I have the video of me cracking my whip for the first time.
Uh-huh. See, we love that. New crack addict.
Exactly. There's a new crack addict on the street. Oh my God. It's crazy. It's like, I'm not going to rob
I'll
anybody
remember that,
money
though.
to pay for a whip. Don't worry. It's just crazy. I mean, I definitely feel like you know, if anyone is interested in getting a whip, you can go to Sin City Kitty Designs and you can have your own colors. You can have all of that, you know, talk to Kat. She was very friendly with me,
Thank
walk you through the whole process. You can put in your order and, you know, just start, you know, getting out there and doing it, you know, but it does take time. It's not an overnight thing. It's not like Amazon where you get overnight delivery. If you know, listen, because you're putting your energy into this, you're putting your love into it. You're putting everything, you know, about you in it. And I feel like you do channel the person a little bit. If anybody that's watching, I see a bunch of people watching. Hello. If anybody wants to ask a question, go ahead and I will read it, the question, because for some reason the comments don't come up on this thing, which is so strange.
Oh my God.
I'm going to have to complain, I think, to like StreamYard and write them a note and be like, how dare you? Just kidding.
Have a Karen
I would
moment.
never do that ever. But yeah, I have so many different, like, see, it would be very dangerous for me to be a whip maker because my entire house would be full of whips. Like I'm thinking, even now, I'm thinking of like all the stuff, like yellow, like an all yellow one. I really,
as creative as you want to be, really. It's like there are people who have like these really cool creations and just.
I'm gonna make my sister for my birthday buy me. Kim, I know you're watching. Maybe you still are. I'm gonna make her buy me the Beetlejuice whip. So be prepared, because when I got that, I'm like, I don't know why I want that, but I do.
I mean, who wouldn't want it? That's really cool. I love it. Yeah, I can't wait to create that one.
Beetlejuice, and I want an all purple one, like an all purple one, just straight purple.
I love purple. It's just, that's one of my favorites. So
purple is my favorite too, and that's why I got the mug, because I was like, all right, like I don't want a bullwhip. Like I want this certain whip because that's what I thought I wanted. Like, but I'm gonna buy the cup anyway. So I have the cup and I just got the t-shirt. I have anything that's purple. Like that's how like if somebody put like a purple box outside of like a kidnap van and it was like, get in. It's like, I have purple everything in here. Gone by. That's it.
Right. So that's the last we saw of her.
Yeah. So this is amazing. I mean, this has been, I mean, I know that this is, you know, definitely been, you know, quite a journey for you to, you know, to do this and just, you know, keep going and learning. And that's what's important about it. You know, when you start and you pick up something and you just keep building from there and just keep, you know, going. And then when you actually see like one of your whips out there being used by somebody, that's got to feel like absolutely amazing.
It's the coolest feeling. It really is. It's like watching like one of your kids, like, go off and become something amazing. Like, yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, because this was like when I opened it up, I was like, oh my God, this is my new best friend just came. Like I ran home.
Oh my gosh, that was so amazing when you were like, because that's how I would be when I'm opening up my stuff. Like, oh my gosh.
Oh my God, yeah. I was like, this is like my best friend, like coming in, like, and I tracked it because I wanted to, because I live in like a funny area where like the address is the same as a restaurant. And I was like, listen, like, if I don't get this, and I got the notification it had been delivered, I freaking ran home and made sure that I got it. It was this big box, and I was like, yes. And I opened it up, and it was the best thing. And of course, as soon as I, you know, uncurled it, my cat was like, oh, is that for me? He will not play with any other toy, but if I pull one of my whips out, he will go after the cracker. Like, he wants that. And
like, my cat's like that too.
Get away from me right now. Get away. He loves it though. He loves it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've tried.
That's their toy now.
Mouse doesn't work.
Yeah, no, it's not the same. I know.
I know. You have to go outside and do it. Like, I mean, it's just fun. I mean, it's a lot of fun, and it's definitely gets a lot of attention when you go out because people hear the noise. Like, what the hell is that noise? Because it sounds like a gunshot.
It does. Yeah, it does. I mean, if you're really like going for it and stuff, I grew up, I started my whip cracking career, whatever, in the neighborhood parks over here. So, I mean, you have to learn how to kind of like go a little bit quieter, you know, so people aren't calling the cops on you. But
let them call the cops though. God, what are the cops going to say? Like, what would they say?
Right. I've never had anyone call on me, but
I mean, I would be scared. Yeah. Like if I did it in a certain part of like where I live in Huntington, I would be a little afraid that the cops might be like, are you shooting a gun? Like I would be afraid that they would think that, you know, because I mean, it sounds like, I mean, there's other whips out there. I think what is that whip? I forget what, I think it's from Indonesia.
Yeah, the big fluffy one, right?
Yeah. When he cracked that.
Oh my goodness.
Freaking loud.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. And you could
Yeah.
really hear the difference in sound between like the different types of whips, you know?
Yeah. Right.
So if anybody wanted some advice on what type of whip that they would get, because I know people are interested, I know they're intrigued. Right off the bat, what size whip would you tell them to get? Like, because you know, people tend to go big or go home. Don't ask me
I
for a
know.
50-foot whip.
Right, exactly. I'm like, it's too. I know in my personal experience, I started with a longer whip and then scaled back to like a shorter whip, and then gradually got like longer from there. So
Right.
now I found that I'm really comfortable with the 6 to 7 foot whip. So, but I mean, that's starting out with like a 10 foot whip. I had to scale back to like my 4 foot whip when I was just learning because you can't, the longer the whip is, you're kind of if you don't know what you're doing, it's a little, you're gonna hit yourself. And
Yeah.
yeah, me personally, I think it's a little easier to work with like 4 or 5 footer, so you can kind of like get those cracks in, get a little faster, and then the
I
longer the
find
whip
that,
is, you're gonna go slower. So
yeah,
you're just gonna have to like,
I find that it's too fast. Like
yeah.
I find that I move it too quickly, and then that's how it ends up getting wrapped around my arm. And I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, like how to, I mean, you're trying to figure out how to do that, but you're also trying to break in the whip also because it's it's got to break in a little bit. You can't just can't just keep it coiled up and not moving it. Like you have to
Yeah.
go out there and actually do it.
Yeah.
I mean, because I just ordered this stupid. I had credit on Amazon and I ordered this kangaroo whip, and I have it here, and it's so flimsy. It's just weird. Like it doesn't, like it feels like it needs to be waxed. Like it feels like it needs something to make it like a little tighter. But I
For a
think it's probably just,
kangaroo,
I don't
I
know.
don't. Yeah, you're not gonna wax a leather whip, so
So I don't know if it's a good whip.
that's just a poor construction, I think.
Poor construction. That's exactly what that is. And or it
Yeah.
could just be that I don't know what I'm doing and I need to. But it's 8. I think it's like 7 or 8 feet long.
Who's the
It's
maker?
I don't know. I'll have to look at my
Let
Amazon
me
and I
know.
will
Like
send
maybe we can
you.
experiment. Yeah,
Yeah, I
maybe
will
you can send it
send
to me.
you the I will send it to you. But I was like, I think I'm gonna cover this thing in rhinestones and see if
There you go.
that's what. But I
If
mean,
it'll make it crack better with the rhinestone,
maybe it will. Who
it'll just be
knows? I mean,
prettier.
I don't know. But I mean, it's
Right.
just. I mean,
Just
I
for
didn't
show.
know what I was doing. I didn't know how to hold my
Yeah.
hands. I didn't know how to. And then even a friend of mine had, watched the video and she messaged me. She goes, "Oh, I have a whip too, and you just have to flick your wrist." And I was like, "So there's all these secret whip crackers out there
Right,
that
exactly. They all come out of the woodworks like,
they
hey,
all come
let me
out of the
help you.
woodwork." Like, yeah, I'm into that too because it has
Right?
that, it has that,
It does.
BDSM thing to it. It's just
Yeah.
not that.
Exactly. It's like, I'm not there, I promise.
Yeah. So yes. So all right, guys. I don't see anybody asking questions. People are definitely going to ask questions. They're going to ask questions about this. And, when I do this, you have it on Sin City Kitty is on Etsy. Message her.
Yeah.
Say, I would like to order a whip. And you can, I mean, on your website, they can pick the colors themselves. Or do you have a website that's like that? Or they just call you?
So right now I just have my in-stock items listed on the Etsy. I took down the custom ones, just but people will still reach out and ask, and I'm happy to take your order, so
Yeah,
we can work on something.
they might
So you can always message me. It's fine. I'm flexible. So, but I just didn't want to put that pressure on, like, oh my gosh, there's so many custom whips that I have to make. But
yeah, I can imagine it can get when people. Because it's kind of like you're a whip maker, so you make whips.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's so you're gonna make whips, and this is what I have in stock. Pick what you want.
Right.
You know what
exactly.
I mean? That was another reason why I was like, oh, okay, well, I can have my own. When you were like, oh, I can recreate it because I really like the purple and black one that you had.
Yeah.
So and they said, well, I can recreate it. I said, no, I want hot pink. But I mean,
I want what I want. I want it my way. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's there and it's in stock, get it, buy it, and then it gets right to you. But if you wanted, but I feel like that's perfect for somebody. Just pick one up first,
right? If you just want
and then
it, if you just
later on,
it's there.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna want more than one whip. Like there's just no way. There's no way around it. It's not possible to just have one. Just to have one whip, it's not possible. You're gonna want more different styles as you get to play with them. I'm really hoping that they bring. I'm gonna come wherever the whip cracking convention is. I want to know when the date's gonna be.
It's January, and it's gonna be where is it? It's in LA, over not quite LA. It's like the Burbank area.
Uh,
So
I've never been to
we'll announce it.
California.
Ever? Oh my gosh, it's fun. I grew
But
up in
I'm going.
California, so let's
I'm writing
go.
it
I'll be
down.
there.
January. I will be there. You're going?
January. I'm going. Yeah.
I'm good. I'm going because I want to
Let's
meet
go.
everybody, and I want to
Yeah,
get
it's
this
fun.
done.
Like everybody usually goes and stuff, and
How long is it? Like a
it's a lot
week
of
or a
fun.
couple days?
The convention itself is like usually is like one day. There was like workshops on the second day, but a lot of people like came before that, and just kind of like
Hung
fellowship. They
out.
kind of like got together, like let's talk about whip cracking, and let's like talk about whip making, and it's just also like get to know everybody because a lot of us just knew each other like online and stuff, and
Yeah,
so
because you
it
can
was kind of
like
like a nice opportunity for everyone to like get together, see each other again, and yeah, because we there that was the first like official in-person one I think since COVID, so that's why it's
yeah.
kind of like
A lot of
big
things have
deal.
been
So
picked back up. I mean,
mm-hmm.
a lot of in-person stuff that you kind of forgot about because we were like just so
Yeah,
used to like that not happening because of COVID.
yeah,
And I'm
right.
just so tired of hearing it. Like, just get out there, get back
Let's
out there doing
go.
stuff. I mean, then this would be like the
Right.
perfect COVID sport because you don't want to be near anybody
Hello.
because you don't want to be
Exactly. Right.
whipped. So you don't have to worry about
Exactly.
catching anything because you don't want to
Yeah.
be near anybody. So it's the perfect sport here,
Exactly.
people.
Yeah.
Probably one
People
of the
would
only
actually like
sports
joke
that
about that too. They would be like, "Oh yeah, see, it's the perfect social distancing,
yeah,
activity." So
exactly. So
yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of good things about it. I love it. I
yeah,
love touching it. I love holding it in my hands. I love listening to the noise. I love concentrating. Like there's just just put my,
yeah.
my earbuds in with the music low so I can still hear
Yeah.
what's going on and just go nuts.
Exactly. And then just go and flow. So yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
because I know I'm going to write the choreography for this. I could see it all. There's so much. I mean, I just got invited to a burlesque comedy show that's coming up in a couple of weeks. I love burlesque. I love it.
Yeah,
There's girls.
right?
Yep, they did like a Marilyn Manson burlesque show.
Oh my
I
goodness.
was there 6 weeks before. I just kidding.
Uh-huh.
I love it, like because he's just as an
Oh yeah.
artist, but he's also a performer with the makeup and
Yeah.
all the props and all that stuff. I
Hmm.
love performances. Just love it.
Yeah.
And costuming, makeup, all that stuff. I love every minute
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
And these girls put on the show, and I was like, wow,
It's
like
right. It's incredible, right? Like it's
mhm,
such a like this beautiful art form. It's
beautiful art
really
form. I love it.
yeah.
And I feel like I've never been to Vegas either, but I feel like there's just I mean,
It's huge. Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
my favorite movie is Showgirls. As a
Oh, see?
teen, people be like, that's the worst movie ever. No, it is the best movie ever. I don't care. If she had a whip in that movie, that would make the movie so much better. I love it. I
Next
love her.
level.
I love her as an actress. I love the
Oh.
storyline. I love
Mhm.
that just the whole just everything where she was gonna, become a showgirl. And I was like, this is a real world where people actually dance around on the stage naked. I mean, I don't think they have that now, but wasn't Britney Spears doing like a residency in Vegas for a while?
Oh yeah, that was like a while
That was
ago
a
though.
while ago, but she was doing it.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was. Yeah, she was. Yeah. There's who do we have now?
Mhm.
We have Katy Perry, and we have who do we have? Adele is here. We have.
Adele is unbelievable. I would definitely
Yeah.
spend money on Adele because I
Oh
just
my
feel
gosh,
like her
people
voice.
spend money here. Yeah, it's incredible.
I can imagine it's probably very
Yeah.
expensive to go to Sin
Yeah.
City because I'm not a gambler. I've never, but I
Me
know they have a
neither.
lot of
I
conventions
know.
there. So
Yeah, a lot of conventions, a lot of shopping. They created this beautiful, like a lot of sports stuff too. Like we've got the hockey teams here and stuff.
okay,
Go Knights
yeah, because
go!
people are
They're on the
changing.
playoffs right now, right?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, we've got like the NFL is here and stuff. We're getting a baseball team, I guess. So yeah,
a lot of people moved to Vegas. Actually, there's
yeah.
um,
Hmm.
a lot of
A
people.
lot of transplants. Yeah, I'm one of
Yeah.
them. Yeah, we came here like
Where are
over
you
10 years
originally
ago
from?
and stuff. Originally from Southern California. So,
Okay.
do you know where Magic Mountain is?
Nope.
Yeah.
Ask me how many times I've left New York. I refuse to leave New York ever.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm like, people are like, oh, why do you go out? There's a big world out there, Kristen. Like, you need to get out
Yeah.
there and like meet other people, go other places, do other things. I'm like, yeah, I'll stay in New York for a day. Okay, leave me alone.
Right?
All right, just leave me alone. But now I'm ready to like go out and like get out there and
Yeah.
like do stuff, you know?
Explore just
Meet
a
other
little.
people. Like, stop sitting in
Yeah.
Long Island. You're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, have you ever been to New York?
I've not, so maybe we'll trade.
You
Like
need
I'll
to
go
come to
visit
New
you, you
York.
come visit me. There you go,
Yes,
right?
I will.
New York
Trust
kind of scares me.
Oh, New York?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I would,
Yeah.
yeah. It can be scary. The people, you know, I lived in Arizona briefly when I was younger, and the people
Uh-huh.
were so friendly in
Mhm.
Arizona, just naturally friendly. And I find
Yeah.
that people in Long Island can be very nasty for no reason. Like you could literally like look at someone the wrong way and immediately they fly off the head. It's like from 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. It's so bad. And now because and I was talking to my friend about this, and now because everybody has cameras, you
Mhm.
know, and this is where the whip will come in handy. Because if somebody wants to mouth off, you could whip the phone out of their hands and they won't even know what's happening.
Right.
You know, and then you can curse them out and you're not on camera for the world to see. So it's
Oh,
perfect,
I love
you
that.
know?
There you go.
But it's just that, yeah, people can be, you know, I'd like to be in a place where people are a little bit nicer, but nothing
Yeah.
beats New York when it comes to, I guess, the pizza.
Ooh, I love pizza too. So
But
I'll
yeah,
have to
I
go. I'm a
mean, you
foodie,
know,
so
you
yeah.
have to know where to go, but now everything is just kind of
Yeah.
changed, and it's just, I mean, the city is not the same. It will
Mhm.
never be the same again, never.
Mm,
The city hasn't been the same, not just because of COVID, but you know, because of 9/11, it's
yeah.
never gotten, you know, back to where it was. And everything is just so expensive. I mean, they literally charge you just to
Yeah.
like, walk on the concrete. It's, you know, just
Oof.
whatever. So to see anything
Mhm.
is very expensive. But you know, the theater, the arts, and everything like that is still very much
Oh
alive.
yeah. Yeah. See.
People take that with them and they go to other places. You know,
Yeah.
'cause they want to be, you know, a place where you know people are friendly and you can afford to live and you know just have
Mhm.
different stuff. Long Island
Yeah.
gets boring after a while. I'm sure California wore off pretty quickly on you too.
Oh yeah. It's
Like you know,
expensive in
it
California.
is very expensive in California,
Yeah.
and people
It really
somehow
is.
can afford plastic surgery and all that stuff. And it's like,
Yeah.
you know, if you just got into whip cracking, you could write it off as an accident, and you have to pay for it. My friend was telling me about that. She's like, yeah, everybody's running around looking like, you know, like Kim Kardashian, and I'm like, what do you
Yeah.
mean, Kim Whip Kardashian? Just kidding.
I'm sure you'll find something.
We'll find something. There's always a way to
Right?
insert the whip in there. There's
Mhm.
always a way. And I wish I
Yeah.
could bring it like on stage as part of my comedy, but they'll never allow that. Like, there'd just be no way.
I'm sure.
If
I
I
don't
had a
know. I
little,
bet. Yeah. I'm sure you could.
I think I could. If I just had just
You
a
could.
little one that I
Just a
could just
little one.
crack, you know, like, you
Mhm.
know, whatever, I think that I could pull it.
Yeah.
That's the next mission.
Yeah.
I could bring the little
There
one.
you go.
No
Yeah.
one's gonna get me
Just push
out.
the
Okay.
envelope a little. Just a little.
Yes, just keep it on the tail. So, my darling, this has been a very enlightening conversation. I
Yes.
was so happy to meet you. I was so happy
Me
to get my
too.
whip. Everything was great.
Yes.
And I want everyone to at least today make a promise to yourself because there is support out there for you. This is, as you can see, it's a vibrant, helpful, loving community that you could join that not a lot of people are doing. So, you get to be different, you get to be unique.
Yep.
Go watch
Be
a whip
yourself.
cracking video.
Yes.
Who would you recommend that people watch? I mean, everybody knows Jack.
Everyone knows Jack.
Everybody knows Jax.
We know Jack. We know Adam. I seriously, Canada Whips. He's got a lot of videos out there and stuff. April Choi's got stuff out there. My friend Keith Smith. He's an amazing target master, and
I saw you hit those cans outside your house on Instagram. I saw you hit that. I was like, oh yeah, okay.
That's all from him. See? Yeah, for sure. So, but I mean, really, if you just put in whip cracking, you'll pull up a lot of like
everything. You'll be right down that rabbit hole. And before you know it, get it to your brain. Like you need a whip.
Exactly. Right. It's like I didn't know I needed one until you see the video, right?
Until and you're like, wow, this is fun. I really want to check this out. But
it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It gets you outside, you know, like when you're in that zen and like the whip flow and everything. It's just, I don't know, it's really good. It's an experience.
Eli, yes. Look it up. Look up. Just type in whip cracking. Go to YouTube. Type in whip cracking. You'll see. Like, cause I mean, the first I think I fell asleep to like Nick's voice when he was like, up, pause, forward.
It's very, yeah, he's got a very soothing voice.
He
I
does.
found there were
He
several
needs to
times.
make like the ASMR or whatever it's called. Like
Just read the story.
right. Just up, pause, forward,
Right,
crack.
it's
Up,
just
pause, forward, crack. Like that
Mhm.
needs. I think that I feel like people are gonna
Yeah.
find this to be very soothing, very
Mhm.
relaxing.
Yes, yeah, it's a good healthy sport. So
It is good healthy sport, and it's so
it's a
early.
good,
You're still
good
healthy.
crack addiction.
You're 3 hours earlier than us. You still have time to like do stuff during the day.
I got stuff I gotta do. There's like, you know,
do a million things, but it's the weekend. It's still the same day there,
It
right?
is.
Saturday. That's
It's
so crazy how we're in
still
a
the
different
same
time
day. Yeah.
zone.
Mhm.
How are we living in the same day
I
and we're in
know.
different time zones, but
The
we're talking to
internet.
each other? Does that wrap around anyone else's mind? I
know.
don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Totally
It's
crazy.
wild. I know.
But now we've made this connection, and now we'll be friends for life. And I'm definitely
Yes.
looking forward to posting more videos in the community.
Absolutely.
Tell us your website so people can find you.
I'm sincitykittydesigns.com.
Yes.
So you can just go there.
Just go there.
I'm also Sin City Kitty with 3 T's on Instagram. And you can look up Cat Fimple. It's unique enough where I think you could just pull me up.
Exactly. People will see that. So I want to thank everybody for watching this episode of Creative Connections Open Mic. Do not forget, this Wednesday at the Brokerage at I think 7:30, I'm competing in a comedy contest. If you want to come and watch me destroy a bunch of other comics on stage. I'm not making fun of anyone. I'm just getting up there and doing my 5 minutes. I'm doing my time. That's it. I'm just getting up there. I'm doing that just for sport. It's for sport, my own vanity. And then you could also check me out on June 11th. I will be producing my second psychic fair. They're going to have a bunch of different vendors there. I may have my whip there. We'll see. Just in case. I mean, I have to incorporate somehow reading tarot with whips.
Yeah.
Maybe I could use
That's
the whip.
so unique.
Hit the
hit the tarot card. Hit the tarot card.
Yeah, because it's not going to break it. Yeah, it's not going to break it. I have cards here that are waterproof, that are really thick. I think I could pull it off.
Yeah, see? Things to think about.
Do you see the smile? This is the Cheshire Cat smile.
I love it. See? It's good. See, we call that whip joy.
Exactly. Whip joy. Crackhead whip joy. Oh my God.
Yeah,
anyway.
That's it. Yeah.
So don't go anywhere, Cat, because I'll say goodbye to you off camera. But thank you, everybody, for watching Creative Connections Open Mic. Please give us a follow on Instagram. I'll post all the Instagram handles. If you want to join the Creative Connections Open Mic too, what is it called? A group. You could do that. I go live on my page, but then I post it into the group. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Reach out to us. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. I appreciate you. And thank you, Kat, for being a wonderful guest.
Thank you.
Girl. And I will see everybody soon. I'm ending this broadcast now with a click of a button. Let's see. You just hit end. Look, see?